Warning: this video contains spoilers for the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure Lost Mine of Phandevler. Do not continue watching this video if you have any intention of playing Lost Mine of Phandevler. So who wants to recap what happened last session?
We left the hellhole that was the goblin encampment. We had picked up a few stragglers along the way, but, the more the merrier. Yep, we met Mira. Mira and Lady Silvar, it's kind of a one-sided relationship there. Nobody really seems to take Mira seriously. And that's okay, because that means Flint will. Goblin Slayer left. We made it to town. There was a burnt-down building with prayers in front of it. We met the innkeeper. We got rooms, blah, blah, blah. We went to the general store where there's an old dragonborn whose name I don't remember.
Elmar Barthen.
We got money from him, delivered the goods. Flint has spurs now. Mira learned that there is a place where if you go to it, people will want to fight you if you look tough. That sounds fun. Flint wasn't really paying attention to all the lore drop from Barthen, so I cannot recap that part.
That's okay. I'm sure it won't come up again. Also worth mentioning is the fact that Varys has gone off to do a little bit of research at a library that Barthen told him about, and is currently reading there, while you guys are back at the inn, and you have just witnessed Lady Sildar being taken off to the local shrine by the town cleric. Raxo, still not back yet. Raxo's still sleeping. Might have to modify that aspect of the sword folk, because 24 hours is a bit much. It's multiple sessions in-game. Keep that in mind, because this is also sort of a playtest for the Swordfolk race. Okay, so you guys are back at the Ram and Shackle Inn, while Varys is reading. Varys is reading his book, and looks up to notice that Beeb, the goblin tinker who maintains the library in question, has pulled up a seat across from him, and has even, without sort of being asked, laid down a mug of tea for the both of them.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I don't get visitors here very often.
So, what does everybody want to do?
I'm gonna drink my tea and offer him a future reading.
Oh, some kind of fortune teller, huh? Oh, that's pretty cool.
I prefer the term soothsayer personally, but yeah, I technically do.
Yeah, who came up with that?
You see a figure within the bottom of the cup that is known in soothsayer circles as the coin purse. And you can interpret what that means how you please.
I explained to him what the coin purse is, and then I offer him some of my fancy tea from the caravan. Head off to find Flint and the others.
I do believe you were probably you were reading for an hour or two, yes?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, okay. So what have you guys been getting up to in the meantime?
So, Flint, he has been eyeing that bell.
Bezeril, the gnome who seems to own and run the Ram and Shackle Inn, is kind of bustling around, tidying here and there, and routinely dips into the back room, out of sight.
So when he dips into the back room, Flint is going to get up, go to the front desk, and grab the bell.
Okay, roll a stealth check.
At disadvantage because spurs. Oh
my god, I forgot. You tiptoe, which means the spurs are kind of off of the floor. You go over, and you easily pocket the bell.
Flint will leave 2 gold pieces where the bell once was, and then return to his seat.
Bezeril does come out shortly thereafter. He does not notice that the bell is missing. It is not time yet for the daily bell check to make sure that the bell at the front desk has not been stolen. And you discover that the little child gnome, is kind of staring at you.
Flint's gonna wave at him.
He does not wave back, he just continues staring. So, are you guys just gonna sit there and have a drink or so, waiting for Varys to meet back up with you?
Mira will just be drinking, talking to himself. At some point, he'll take out some chalk and attempt calculations on the table.
Calculations. Okay.
And completely ignore Flint's shenanigans.
Shortly after, Varys walks in.
Is there anybody new in the inn?
There is not at the moment, no. As of about right now, it's probably about 11 or... No, it's about noon. And you wouldn't expect in a working town such as Phandalin for there to be much, if anybody, in here until, after 5 o'clock or so. One of the other things, by the way, that was not mentioned in the recap, was that Barthen had told you guys to kind of, sit tight and come back around the day after tomorrow, as that is when Gundren Rockseeker's 2 brothers were expected to be back from their time at the secret mine.
You find anything?
Well, we have to wait a few days for Gundren's brothers, don't we? So our choices here are information, resources, or allies. I've heard that there is another inn down the way, the Sleeping Giant, which has been having some troubles. If we assist them, it might stand us in good stead with the town for when the brothers arrive. And I don't quite know how to say this in game terms, but he's clearly got a secret agenda when he says that.
I think we have supplies for the Lion Shield. We could probably take them down and get their alliance. On the other hand, I was able to find out quite a bit about this local area. I'll tell you what, if you guys can help me get the supplies down to the Lion Shield, and I'll explain to you what I found, and we can probably get their alliances.
Flint will just start nodding. Varys has very rarely steered us wrong in the past.
I'm gonna lead them and then pick up the supplies in the coach, and then explain about how this used to be a big mining town with the dwarves, some gnomes, and some humans. But then it fell to the orcs over time. I probably wouldn't say the dates due to the fact that I know it would probably go over Flynn's head.
Yeah, he's not sure what year it is.
And that there was a fort that might have been reclaimed by somebody and renamed in the local woods as we head to the Lion Shield coaster.
Yep, so he learned about a lost fort from before the orc conquest of the Tribor Valley, and about the history of Phandalin itself, and the lost mine at Wave Echo Cave, which would appear to be what Gundren Rockseeker and his 2 brothers had found, and may somehow be connected to his disappearance. You guys make yourself through the streets of town, and it doesn't take you very long, because it's not a very big town, to get to a sort of squat building with a little bit of a yard in the front. It's one of those newer wooden buildings. It's very new construction. You can still smell the resins in the wood. There is a sign hanging out the front with a familiar-looking logo of a blue lion's head. You guys go inside, and you can immediately tell that this is a store that is different from Elmar Barthen's trading post. Elmar Barthen's was general store / agricultural hub / mining supplies. This place has more of a something that might be catered towards militiamen and adventurers such as yourself. And there's a bell on the door that sort of jingles as the door opens. Control yourself, Flint.
Flint reaches for his pocket, and there's another ring.
And you hear a voice come out from the back that goes like, "Well, howdy y'all, make yourself comfortable. I'll be right through. I'll be right in to see to your needs."
Can we see the individual?
You can't. The voice is coming from a back room somewhere. And you can hear a little bit of hushed conversation.
Okay, do you guys want to put your stuff up on the counter?
Oh, you guys
Still
have brought
there.
some of the product in from the cart. The conversation in the back sounds a little heated for all that it's whispers. While trying to listen in, Varys, you do get the gist that there's something of a heated argument going on in the back. And after a minute or so, out comes a tall, broad, human man. Wearing...
Does he have eyes?
He does have eyes.
I activate soul window.
Okay, but you have to let me finish describing him first. Wearing a red cloak on his back. That's all I needed to say.
All I need to do is hear the description of has eyes, and I'm good.
Okay, so I will make sure to begin every description with a person who has eyes comes out of the back storeroom, and he walks out, and he's actually surprisingly cheerful looking. He's got a bit of a smile on his face, and he walks out and he sees you guys in the Lion Shield Coster proper. And Varys, you make eye contact with him. What you see before you when you do is actually a familiar face. It's the face of Elmar Barthen in his sort of floppy, broad-brimmed hat. Elmar looks worried as you, the speaker, the man in the red cloak, are talking to him. But he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out 3 gold pieces and hands them to you, the man in the red cloak. Then you stroll away whistling and flipping the gold coins up in the air and catching them. And then you are back in your body. He suddenly looks a little distressed, and he looks at you, he's like, "What are you looking at?"
Sorry, I have a eye condition, and I like rub the nose area just close to the eye.
Ew. Ew. That ain't contagious, is it?
And then he makes for the door. And he leaves. Shortly thereafter, out of the back steps a short, kind of puffy-haired human woman. It's probably about 5 feet tall, but her hair is considerably poofier. And she's wringing her hands a little bit. She steps out and she has these big earrings that sort of bobble on her earlobes and stuff. But she looks at you and she smiles. And she says,
"Well, I do declare."
Because she's Southern. Because everybody's Southern here. Uh-huh.
Cool. Since you used the word looks at me, I'm going to assume that she does have eyes that are working.
Yes, she does have eyes. They are lovely eyes. You
I'm
look
going
into
to
her eyes.
That fact when I soul window into her.
I am shocked that you do that. You look into her eyes and you suddenly experience several hours of poring over arcane tomes. And you can see her sort of prestidigitating effects such as lighting candles and making the shadows move around her. It's actually, even for you, quite boring. She's just sitting there reading, her butt getting numb in her chair, and doing nothing else. And then you're back.
Hello. We're part of a trading caravan that may have got taken over by goblins. But do not worry, for we found some of the items, and they seem to bear the Lion Shield's crest.
Well, my goodness, that is sensational news. These goblins, they've been plaguing the area for a while now, and I honestly thought that some of my shipments were just plain lost. I've only been getting about every other shipment that I've sent out to Neverwinter for. Between the goblins and those Red Brand boys, I don't know where this town is going.
Red Brand boys?
Oh, you boys must be new in town. You guys haven't been here before, huh?
No, I'm from Waterdeep, personally.
But the Red Brands, they're sort of a gang of toughs that moved into town about a couple of months ago. It's quite infuriating because we don't have a constabulary set up yet. Neverwinter was supposed to send somebody, but he never showed up. Anyway, thank you for bringing these crates in. She says, I don't really have much money to reward you with. Well, it's sort of the downside of what's going on in this town, between the protection money and the fact that business has been slow, and I haven't really been getting the stock that I need to actually conduct the business. But you can come to me anytime. I owe you guys a favor.
I go to leave the building.
Okay.
And then check up on Lady Sylvia to see how she's healing up.
And the guys will tell you that is over at the Shrine of Luck. The Shrine of Luck, strangely, is one of the older buildings. Yes, you go ahead and walk in. There's sort of like a main worship area that's set up. It's vacant at the moment. Empty pews. But there are doors off of the side. There is no bell to ding.
Flint will reach into his pocket and ding the bell.
So, yeah, after a brief second, a door opens to your left, and the same half-elven lady you guys will recognize from before, which is to say, Mira, Caliaseth, and Flint will recognize as the woman who picked up Lady Sildar from the Ram and Shackle Inn. She pokes her head through the door, and she says,
Well, I didn't realize we had a bell.
Does she have eyes?
She does indeed have eyes, yes. Yes, so you look into her light blue eyes, and you find yourself running through ruins in the wood. She's sort of peering behind herself at something that might seem to be chasing her, when suddenly she trips and lands on her knee with something of a cracking sound. And then you're back. She steps out of the side room, and you notice she has something of a limp.
Hello, you're caring for our friend?
Oh, well, yes. You must be with Lady Sildar. Yeah, she's resting gently in the other room. I would recommend against having visitors for her. She really needs her sleep. A night or two on the back road, sleeping on a cart in her condition is not very good for the disposition and for the healing.
Yeah, well, we were had our hands tied by certain circumstances.
Oh, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying she needs to recover, and I would not recommend visitors for her at this time.
Okay. Well, tell her we try to visit her if she's up at all. And I give her like some coinage. Here's for the trouble of healing her.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Not a whole lot of coin to go around for the old shrine these days.
And she actually kind of goes over and she puts it into like a collection plate that she has at the very front. She flips one really quick and throws it onto her arm and looks at it. She's like, darn. She puts it in the thing.
Oh. Healer lady.
What can I do for you, Mr. Dwarf?
Where's the gangs at?
Her eyes widen a little bit.
The gangs? Are you talking about those Red Brand boys?
He'll look away and then look towards Mira as if asking if that's what he meant.
Virus, why is he looking at me?
Varys has left the building.
Yeah, I'm out. I've walked back to the ramshackle.
Varys? Oh no, we've lost Varys.
This entire place is fucking doomed.
Flint is just going to start slowly nodding.
If you're talking about the Red Brand boys, well, nobody knows where they sleep. Nobody knows where their operation's based off of. Nobody knows where they've been taking our gold to. But I do know that they hang out at the Sleeping Giant. Don't know why you'd want to know something like that. You ain't thinking of throwing your lot in with those boys, are you?
You might want to prepare a few more beds, and then Flint's going to leave.
Oh. So, and what were you saying, Tiger?
Did you just say the Sleeping Giant?
Well, yes, it's the inn down the road down there. Well, it's actually not an inn. It doesn't have any beds. It's just a tap house.
Which is a mistake that I keep making as the narrator as well, so...
Mira's just gonna say, you had me at the tap house. And follow off the Flint.
Oh, we do get all sorts around here. And then you guys are out. You're heading. Varys is already trudging down the street towards the Ram and Shackle.
Flint's gonna call out, Varys!
I turn to look at them. Yeah, it is with a little bit of shock on my face. Not because he called out to me, but because he knows my name.
So he is going to put his arm around you and start dragging you towards the sleeping giant.
So he discovered something important.
It's gonna nod.
Does it have to do with that building we're walking towards?
It's gonna nod again.
Yeah, Mira's following behind and just checking his stuff, making sure his weapons are ready. He's also going to activate his protection ability on Varys.
Ah. Well, that's good.
Because he seems squishier.
He does indeed, does he not?
I take it my prognostication from last session still carries over?
Yes.
Long rest. Yeah, plus 1 to AC. As long as you're in earshot of me.
Alrighty.
Seeing that Maris is readying up, I'm also going to take out my quarterstaff and cast Shillelagh.
Okay, so you guys trudge down the street and arrive at another one of the new buildings, the Sleeping Giant. There is a sign out in front that labels it thusly. It's not possible for it to be run down, because this building has clearly only been here for a few months. But you have the feeling, looking at it, that if you give it a few months more, it's going to be run down, and this is going to be, 100 feet of Phandalin is going to be the bad part of town. Alright, so it does have a nice swinging door. Do you guys go in, or is there anything else you want to do beforehand?
Flint's gonna walk in, pull out the bell from his pocket, and ding it.
As you walk in, you hear sort of the sound of muted conversation between numerous individuals. It's not actually muted, no. They're actually being quite raucous. They're telling jokes to each other and laughing. There's sort of an L shape, so you walk in and there's like this vestibule and everything like that. You can see sort of tables, but you can't see who's talking right off the bat. You do, however, see a Dwarven tavern keeper standing behind the bar, and she sort of looks at you, almost quizzically, that somebody would be coming into here as she cleans a glass. And you ring the bell, and the conversation kind of stops for a second. You hear your voice say, "Ooh, what was that?"
In response to what was that, Flint's gonna ring the bell twice.
Ding, ding. As you walk into the room, there is 4 interchangeable men. All of them broad, all of them well-muscled, all of them armed, and all of them wearing those same red cloaks that you saw earlier.
And do they have eyes?
They do have eyes.
Have I already done one of them?
You have. You have. You recognize one of them as the very same one who just left the Lion Shield Coster. You can zero in on another one.
Oh, I'm going to do all 3 in them.
Well, you can't do all 3 at once.
No, but one after another.
Okay. You go ahead and do one. You find yourself in a backyard, much smaller than this person appears to be, kicking a puppy. After you come back to your body, that person is looking at you and seems to be irate. He's like, "What are you doing? Quit staring at me!"
Yeah, I don't respond and I just move on to the next person.
Okay. You move on to the next person. This person is, in his memory, surrounded by a bunch of other red-branded figures. They are harassing an old lady in the street, shouting obscenities and cackling loudly at her as she tries to hurry away. And you're back in your body, and 2 of those red brands are standing up with their hands on their hilt. They said, "Seriously, quit staring at us! What's wrong with you?"
I move on to the last one.
Okay, you move on to the last one. The last one is leaning against a crumbling stone wall,
just kind of laughing and joking with a bunch of other of these red-caped individuals, and you can smell as them sort of a little bit of wood smoke on the air, and the very smell of it almost seems to fill you with some sort of joy, as though the notion of the smell of that wood smoke you find very fun and amusing. And then you are back in your body again. And they have stepped up out of their chairs, and they all have their hands on their weapons, and they are staring at you, and they are not laughing.
I put my hand to my eyes and rub them and say, sorry, it's a condition. Every time I come into a change of light area, I just focus in on something. I didn't see it. Go a little bit blind for a time.
You boys must be new in town, because nobody comes up in here and disrespects us thusly.
Please tell Flint that he kicks.
I'm going to hold on to that match for a little bit.
Damn. Flint's just going to be looking around like he's trying to find these Red Brand boys. He's not smart enough to realize that these are them.
I'm going to look at Flint and say, are we looking for anyone in particular?
Just the gang.
And does this gang have a name?
Probably.
Okay. I'm going to walk up to the barkeep and soul window, and then also order a drink.
Okay, you do soul window on the barkeep, and basically you see a very similar panorama, only there are many more of these red-branded individuals. They're loudly and raucously sort of destroying the place a little bit. One will hit the other with a stool, and then there'll be a little bit of a fist fight, and then a glass mug will fly through the air and smash into the face of another one at the other end of the bar. And they just keep coming up and ordering more drinks, and you just feel too afraid to say or do anything about it. And you're back in your body.
Can I have a pale ale, please?
Sure. Let me get that right up for you.
She pulls a mug to the counter and everything like that. She brings up a glass, and she starts filling it from a bottle, and she says really, really quietly, without making eye contact with you,
You're not about to make any kind of trouble, are you?
No, I'm just a humble poet that came in for a drink.
Okay.
Hold on.
Mira's gonna sidle up next to Varus and ask, are we doing this or what?
The red-caped men are sort of quieted down, but they are watching you guys like a hawk.
I'm gonna sip my drink and then ask Flint, does this gang have any characteristics? Like any colours? I hear that's a thing that gangs often do. Like in a quieter voice, so only like Flint can hear him.
He's gonna look up like he's thinking about it. I think there might be something about red.
I sort of sigh, realising that we've walked past multiple people wearing red since we come in. And I may have accidentally... It's like, okay, do you think it's that group of people wearing red? Like head nod towards the table.
Flint is going to full turn his body to look at them.
They're still looking at you.
And go... And he's just gonna nod.
Okay. Is it just the 4 in red that we can see?
It just seems to be the 4 in red.
I get the real sense that Varus is working himself up for this.
Well, yeah. He didn't expect this combat. Manhandled into it. And now that he's seen them harass people, he does feel a little bit guilty and like he should teach them a lesson. So, come on then. If so, do you want to start heading that way?
As an answer, he is going to start walking towards them.
Okay, I take a final sip of my pale ale and follow after Flint.
Okay, one of them stands up, and the other ones they're just painfully aware of your guys' presence. Kalyaseth is there with you as well. Alright, so this one back here has stood up. The other ones are still sitting, but they're eyeing you. Can I help you, stranger?
My buddy here seems to think that you may be terrorizing the local town. Honestly, it's hard to tell what he thinks sometimes.
He laughs and the others laugh with him. He's like, terrorizing? While we protect this humble burg from all sorts of crazy outsiders who would do it wrong.
By harassing old women?
We don't harass old women, but sometimes, maybe our services might be required to quell the cantankerous before they bring things to, shall we say, a lack of harmony.
Out of character, can you, quickly point out which of the ones was the dog abuser?
The dog kicker?
Yeah.
This one.
Oh, you guys seem like the sort of stand-up gentlemen. I don't mind telling you that we are recruiting.
No, thank you. We've already got patronage. I, for one, am a well-known author of a little poetry book. You may know it.
They laugh. They are laughing at you. Poetry! Oh!
After hearing his profession demeaned, Varys goes, "Fuck it, Flint, just go."
You didn't say anything about the puppy kicker, did you?
Not yet.
At that point, Mira's just gonna approach, and if Flint doesn't start swinging, he will.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give, since Flint was already right there, I am going to give him the opportunity to do a first swing, and then we will be rolling initiative.
All right. Well, I say swing, but he is going to attempt to grab the guy in front of him.
Well, with the bodyguard ability in step, it says that both the bodyguard and the principal go on bodyguard's initiative.
Yes.
What would happen if principal's is higher?
And actually, this came up in the B playtest. Can choose to not participate with that. But I think they need to do that before initiative is rolled, so just to be fair and everything. So, do you want to go on your own initiative, Fly Cheese?
I'll go off the bodyguard's initiative, that's fine. Within that, does the bodyguard go first and then the principal, or is it the principal and the bodyguard?
It is the person who has the higher dexterity. Flint, yeah, you've got him grappled. He is grappled by you.
Well done, me.
It is Mira's turn to do what he do.
Very, very simple, man, Mira. Step forward, battle axe to the face.
Oh yeah, you hit.
In.
Okay, so you bury it deep in his clavicle, and he screams out, but he's still kicking. These guys are not as tough as a bugbear, but way tougher than the goblins that you've seen so far. Varys.
I'm going to move up onto the stool and then up onto the table, and then I'm going to take one step forward and attempt to hit the person that Flynn is grappling.
With your shillelagh, yeah, go ahead.
Because he's grappled, do I gain advantage?
Not because he's grappled, but I'll say that because he's grappled and because you have something of a height advantage, you're kind of up above him and everything. Then I would say that between the two of those, yes, you can get advantage. Grappling by itself does not confer advantage. Only once they be restrained. That's one. Holy shit. Okay. Oh my god.
27.
Alright, so you whack out at his head, you go a little bit wide, and instead the power of your shillelagh staff hits him in the base of the skull. You hear a cracking sound, and his head lolls to the side. You have broken his neck, and he is now instantly dead.
I'm going to point to the one behind him and say, "Hey, Flint, that one kicked a puppy."
Ah!
And I'm going to end my turn there.
Let's go take a level in Barbarian real quick.
Okay, so it is the ruffian. So this one is going to step over the body of his previous friend. He says, "That's right, you're next. I'm gonna kick you." But he does not. He actually draws his sword, and he makes 2 attacks. Does a 17 meter exceed your ace? Okay, alright. So they actually both land. and you take 6 points of piercing damage as he stabs at you.
Which is some of my health.
Some of your
But
health.
not all of my health.
Compared to the damage you guys are doing, not much of your health. This other one, of course, is going to attack at Mira. I don't imagine for a second that a 6 or an 8 breaches your AC, Mira, so he just clatters right off of your armor. And this one is going to take a step to back here. And, you know, he's sort of like, he's already up. So he just sort of, you know, like, pads over to the front of the room. Not exactly running away, but not exactly not running away. Just sort of backing away from the conflict. He just watched one of his fellow red-caped menaces get hit in the neck and drop like a bag of potatoes. It is actually Flint's turn. So this guy's just stabbed you twice.
Yup. Yeah, Flint is going to get onto the table, because if Varys can do it, so can he. And then he's going to go for a headlock on the puppy kicker.
Headlock on the puppy kicker, gotcha.
14.
Yeah, you're easily able to grapple him.
Flint's not good at a lot of things, but
He's good at hugging.
So yeah, he's kind of lifting him up by the neck a little bit.
Kaliaseth, he draws his warhammer, and he points it at the ruffian. And he says, "You fool, red-cloaked ruffian! Clan of Brazier will have its vengeance against you!" And he charges at the blue dot one. So he swings with his warhammer, and he misses this one. The barkeep is going to slowly sink behind the counter and put her back to the bar, sort of waiting for all this to blow over. And we are back to the top of the turn order with Mira.
Okay, Mira's going to say to the bandits, "You can surrender now, or you can die." And then he's going to prepare an action to attack if he does anything other than dropping his weapons.
So it is Varys' turn.
I'm going to hop onto the seat, onto the floor, and then come up to this guy.
Alrighty.
And then use my staff, but I'm going to attempt to use it non-lethally and attempt to knock him out.
So, but really quickly, I do believe you still are subject to an attack of opportunity from this guy, from leaving his threatened range. Alrighty, you take 3 piercing damage. He kind of swipes out and nicks the side of your leg as you go.
19.
19 definitely hits. You clock him upside the head and send him reeling, but he does not go down.
Communicate to Cody's character. Try and knock him out rather than kill him.
And it is the ruffian's turns. So this one is going to do a stabby multi-attack at Flint. Oh, both of those are going to hit. Oh, shit.
It's probably fine.
It's probably fine. You take 13 points of damage.
Yeah, I'm still.
So he just drives his sword into you again and again. You're just thinking about those poor fucking puppies.
There's too much rage for there to be room for pain.
Yeah. Alright, so the blue one up here is going to incite an attack of opportunity from both of you by trying to run out the door.
15 points of damage.
And he suddenly gets very sleepy. Is going to gear up for another attack against you, Mira, which means that you can take your held action.
Stab him in the face.
Well, you guys are rolling pretty well tonight. You stab him admirably in the face. It comes out the other side of his face.
I bloody warned you.
I am going to punch him twice. Kidney punch and kidney punch. So a 21 for 10 points of damage. Thank you, advantage. I believe it's without the +4 for the extra attack.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a 14 for 6.
Okay, 14 does not breach the AC.
But I am then going to drag him.
I was going to ask, does that now mean that he's hunched over due to the fact that Flint's a dwarf, and I'm guessing smaller than this human?
Oh, I still got him by the neck.
Yeah, he's around his neck, so I'm actually going to have him make a strength check really quick, alright?
Okay.
There's two possible outcomes, both of which I think you will find enjoyable. Yeah, he rolled a 3. So at the second that all of your weight goes onto him, his knees buckle, and you basically you are now riding him like a pony. The other option was, if he passed the check, he'd basically be wearing you like a backpack. Yeah, I had the feeling you'd be okay with either of those outcomes. So he's actually, I'm going to say that he is prone at the moment. Now it's Kellyset's turn. And he's going to step over from here, step over from there, and he's going to try and do a golf swing at this one's head while avoiding hitting you, Flint.
Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, he's worried. He's like so subconsciously worried that he's going to hit you in the head, Flint, that he turns away at the last second. Mira's turn.
Yeah, but then you don't.
Mira was going to consider. He was going to consider going back to the bar and having a drink and just leaving this to Flint. But then he saw him get stabbed about 5 times. So he'll go try and finish that.
Oh yeah, man, you guys are rolling really good tonight. This morning, it's tonight for some of you.
Mira has no social skills, but he's a monster.
You stab at him and he just sort of wheezes. Okay, it is Varys' turn.
Oh, are we still dealing with the one on the floor?
Yeah, you're still dealing with the one on the floor. He's just been stabbed, but he hasn't collapsed under the weight of Flint yet.
I'm gonna produce flames and then throw it at him. I'm doing my disadvantage now, so if I get a lower one, no, we go with the 8.
Gotta go with the 8. Okay, yeah, an 8 does not hit. You just kind of like Mira, you kind of have to lift your leg for a second as a little trail of fire kind of runs along the floor and just kind of, snuffs out within a couple of seconds, but there's a black streak along the floor. It is this ruffian's turn, and he is going to attempt a strength check against, or not a strength check, he's going to attempt an athletics contested with you, Flint, to try and break this.
All right, enjoy your disadvantage from being prone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, funnily enough, if he didn't have disadvantage, he also got a nat 20. The other roll, which is the roll that counts, is a 3, and it is in fact your turn. So you are now down, like, on your side, sort of like trying to slowly strangle him.
More kidney punches. Neither of those hit.
Yeah, neither of those hit.
Well.
I get a little confused.
Callias, take us home. Huh?
Alright. Calliaseth is going to do that. Nope. It's just rolling around on the ground. I feel like the barkeep peeks over and just kind of gives you a quizzical look. She's just like, what are you doing over there? It's Mira's turn. For God's sake, end this fucking...
Damn it, Flint, hold him still.
Oh, yeah. Now, here's a question for you. Are you attacking to submit, or attacking to myrtle-yrtle?
Oh, we've got one. We don't need him. He's getting stabbed through the back.
And he kicks puppies.
Yeah, right at the beginning of the fight.
So you stab the puppy kicker.
Mira's not much of a dog person anyway.
So, like, he raises himself over Flint and on all fours, ready to make an attack against him, and then just dead through the back. And you guys are out of initiative.
I walk over to the barkeeper and ask, hey, can I have a pint of water, please?
You can have anything you want.
Shakily, the barkeep puts a glass of water onto the counter. What do you guys want to do?
Flint's gonna go to the bar, bleeding the entire way. I think I was the only one that took damage that fight. I'll have a pint.
You're bleeding all over the floor.
It's his fault. And he's gonna point back to the guy who's on the ground.
He's
Dead.
also bleeding all over the floor.
Mira's gonna turn to Kalyaseth and say, "Get Bird But the guy at the store. We need him, and we need the healer. To Kalyaseth.
Okay, Kalyaseth's gonna nod sharply, and yeah, he's going to head out.
I'm gonna take the pint of water and splash it onto the face of the one that we knocked out.
So Mira will turn him onto his front, start tying his hands behind his back.
Good call.
Pick his weapons away underneath the tables.
Yeah,
I
so
just thought that was sort of him waking up. So as I stand over him, it's like, you think it's fun to harass individuals in this town?
He sort of spits and sputters. He's like, what kind of question is that? What are you doing? You're a bunch of maniacs. Oh my god, everybody's dead.
Yeah, and you will be too if you don't A, answer all our questions, and B, take back your comments about poetry earlier.
He just kind of sputters a little bit more, spits out a little bit more water, and he's like, poetry is cool.
Are there any more of you in this town?
Oh, we're everywhere. Oh my. And this insult will not go unanswered.
Okay, how many more of you are in this town then?
Dozens.
Are you working with the goblins?
What goblins?
Are the goblins that have been attacking the shipments to this town, are you working in concert with them?
Not exactly. Listen. It's not me. It's Glassstaff. He's the one running the show over here, and he's in contact with somebody. I don't know who they are, but they call themselves the Black Spider, and they're hiring people in the area. And some of them are goblins, and some of them are people, and some of them are I don't even know what.
Is it Glassstaff, you said?
Glassstaff's the one who's been talking to this Black Spider person. He's the one who got us all together. He's kind of our leader guy.
And is he in this town?
Yeah, he's back at the hideout.
And where is this hideout?
He's quiet. He doesn't want to answer that.
Mirith?
Mira's going to lean down very close so that the bandit can smell his very alcoholic breath and say, "Where is he?"
We're working out of the basement of that old ruin on the hill you see over the town. It used to be old Fort Tresendar Manor. Glassstaff's been having us excavate the basement and use that as a base of operations. Can
you get out of your clothing, please?
That distressed him more than anything else. What kind of what are you?
Amira's gonna pipe up and say, "He can't take off his clothing. His hands are tied. Let me do it for him." And then just start taking them off.
Let's take their cloaks. We're also going to need to get rid of these bodies somehow. I can go get the cart, and we can load the bodies up in that, and then we can take them away and dispose of them without raising suspicion.
There ain't no sheriff. Who cares?
Yeah, but the bodies might alert them, put them on high alert. I'll go get the cart, and we get Nostril to hide the bodies somewhere, or we go in and infiltrate them.
So, Flint's gonna get that face like he just had an idea.
Oh shit.
He's gonna take off the crown of thorns that he had made, and he's going to basically just keep making a smaller and smaller circle, and then he's gonna attach it to his armor where a badge should be.
Okay.
There's not gonna be a sheriff, then why don't we be sheriff?
I'm gonna exit the door and then try and get the cart up here as soon as
Sure. You do that. What's your name, stranger?
You could call me Sheriff Stranglebeard.
Have one on the house, Sheriff Stranglebeard. And she pours you a drink. It would be at about this moment when Kalyaseth returns with Elmar Barthen and the sister from the Shrine of Luck, behind whom Nostril is carefreely skipping along. You see, she went with Lady Sildar because you told her to guard her.
I pull her to the side as they walk into the inn, and it's like, hey, Nostril, there's some woods up around this corner. As part of your duties to guard Lady Savannah, I'm going to have to get you to bury these bodies in this cart, okay? And there might be some coin in it for you as well.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. I was pretty much the best at burying bodies at burying body class when I was a kid. It's a very important goblin skill. So I'll take care of this for you. Don't you worry, Mr. Varys. I'll take care of it.
All right, so Barthen has arrived, and he's just looking around, just like, wait, I leave you alone for a few hours, and oh my goodness, what happened?
These red cloaks, glass staff, black spider, what can you tell us about?
I only know about the red cloaks. I've never heard of any of that other stuff. The red cloaks, like I said, they rolled into town a couple of months ago. But I don't know anything about any black spider.
Can you help her clean this place up? Cover what happened here.
But Sister Garely, and the sister from the other from the other location. Don't laugh.
Sister from another mister.
Don't laugh. It only encourages me. All right. She steps in and she says,
What honestly happened in here? Oh my goodness, Mr. Flint, you look terrible. Oh my god, and you're injured.
The sheriff has had some trouble.
The sheriff?
You can call me Sheriff Stranglebeard.
Sister Garely and Barthen kind of share a look with one another, and then they both shrug. Sister Garely comes over and she lays a hand on you, and you will recover. You recover 9 points of damage. So the bodies are heading off into the wilderness on the back of a cart piloted by your goblin ward. There is a ruffian who is tied up in the center of this bar, blood everywhere. Barthen is already starting to help Robble clean things up.
We should probably put our cloaks on and try and infiltrate the meeting.
Agreed, but we should probably deal with this guy first.
Oh, me? Oh, I'm happy as a clam just sitting right here.
At that point, Mira's just gonna slam his shield into his face to try and knock him out.
Yep, he just like, he going back to sleep.
Mira's gonna pick him up, throw him over his shoulder, and say, I'll put him somewhere safe, and then we can go. He's gonna take him to the inn, try and buy a room for him.
Bezeril, behind the counter of the inn, just kind of looks you up and down and says,
Honeymoon suite? Oh, I didn't realize we were doing, a rebellion today, but, we don't have a sheriff that I can call, so,
So he, what he actually does is he'll, go over to the corner and pull up a trapdoor into which there is a sort of a brief descending ladder into a root cellar.
call this one on the house.
Very gracious of you, sir.
And then you toss him down and he just...
That's good enough for Mira.
Now's the time to come up with a plan.
If we put on their cloaks, we should be able to attempt to infiltrate their hideout. I think it would probably be best if we attempt to go in more like the twilight hours. That way they probably wouldn't be paying too much attention to us.
Robble kind of gives you guys a sideways look and says,
just so you know, they kind of come here at nighttime and sort of rock out, so you might want to have this discussion somewhere else, now that I think about it.
But before we leave, though, Flint's gonna ask her, but where's my office at?
Well, we got like 500 buildings in here that are all ancient and broken and overgrown. Pretty much what the modus operandi is. You just kind of find a building and, claim it.
Gotta find me a sheriff's office.
all right.
Apologies for the... I can't think of the word.
Inconvenience?
Goodbye.
All right, so yeah, you find this broken down old hovel with a bunch of old rotted furniture in it, and you say to yourself, this is a really sweet setup. Welcome to the sheriff's office. It smells like actual shit.
If she's saying that they go to her pub during the night, then they're probably, the majority of them will be out of there and will be able to sneak around and do our stuff. Wait until we're like right in front of the, just out of view of the fort before we put the cloaks on, so they don't notice us coming up. Just gonna wait till the twilight hours and then head up.
So the town is quiet. It's sort of like it's almost expectant as you make your way through the twilight streets. The manor in question, or the ruins of the old fort and manor, are kind of sitting on a hill overlooking the rest of Phandalin. Incidentally, Varys, you find these ruins to be very familiar looking. When you looked into the eyes of the young gnome, you saw a vision of red-cloaked men hooting and hollering as the smell of wood smoke danced about them, and they were in ruins that you could convince yourself were very similar to this. It takes you till about 6:30 to find a trapdoor that leads to a crumbling and ancient staircase.
Look, guys, I found the staircase.
All right, descend the staircase.
Okay, I guess I'll go down the stairs. All right, so the staircase leads down to the door, and the door opens onto a 5-foot wide landing, 15 feet above a large cellar, with stone steps, yes, stone, descending to the floor in 2 short flights. Another door stands beneath the stairs to the north, and a large stone cistern occupies the western part of the room, whose walls are lined with kegs and barrels.
Check out the door.
Okay. I would love to tell you about the fucking door. Yeah, so there is a door there. You can go ahead and give me an investigation check if you want to check it out.
12.
Okay. It's just a regular sort of basic latch. Doesn't seem to be locked. And insofar as you know what traps look like, it doesn't seem to be trapped.
Should I open the door?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. It opens with a pretty heavy creak. It doesn't seem like this is a very frequented area. Alright, can you guys go ahead and make a perception check?
16.
16. Okay, just as you're about to put your foot down on the next square, you notice that there's something wrong with it. This section appears to be a seam about 5 feet in front of you, and if you look really closely at the ground before you, kind of a seam there as well, and if you peer into it, you almost see the glitter of metal as though there were hinges there. You see
This
yes.
appears to be trapped.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of you know how to disarm?
We can have Callie self-destroy it with his hammer.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Destroy the trap.
Really, just we should gotta make a trap monkey of the guy who isn't here.
He walks up to it, pulls out his warhammer, and smashes it down onto the ground. And what you end up with is a trapdoor crashes down like so. Now this is just... that is an open pit right now. So that didn't really help. But you do notice that there is a thin ledge on either side of this trapdoor that with a little bit of dexterity, hint hint, you might be able to sort of edge your way across. Alright. Yeah, you make it to the other side without much of a difficulty. And I think we should actually leave it right here because we are at the 2 o'clock. How you guys feeling?
Yeah, good.
Feeling pretty good.
Outstanding.
Got a lot of good grapples in today.
You did. Anybody who is grappled by Flint still remains marked for death, and I appreciate that. Does anybody have any thoughts on their characters? They say you aren't...
Juggernaut's still very straightforward.
Mhm.
Although, if Varys had told Flint that that guy was a puppy killer, or puppy kicker, excuse me,
Mhm.
right off the bat, I would have used forceful charge to get to him faster.
Ah.
And
Oh yeah, you didn't
possibly
really.
shoved the guy underneath the table.
Oh yeah, you haven't had a chance to use forceful charge yet. Don't worry, I'm sure that'll change shortly.
Varys just didn't want to use it until like he was actually in the fight because he wasn't quite sure what Flynn's reaction would be. He didn't know that Flynn was that vehemently against puppy kickers.
Well,
You saw him with Goblin Slayer.
Hmm.
Yeah, but that's a rabid wolf that we just picked up.
Excuse me, Goblin Slayer was the best dog. Thank you.
Sure.
You can't assume that Flynn knows the difference.
Yeah, everything's
Goblin
a puppy.
Slayer was just a real big pupper. Real big.
Real big puppy. Puppies are little puppies. That horse over there, real big puppy. Varys,
Galliouseth, giant puppy.
Galliouseth, giant puppy. That's just true. That's just straight up true. All right. Yeah, I wasn't sure what you guys were going to do this round, but I'm pretty happy with the progress you guys have made. So,
See you next week then.
Yep. Till next week. All right. Thanks for coming out, guys.
Y'all have a good one.
Take care.
Take
Have
care.
a good one. Bye, YouTube.